Hey everybody, what's going on? Your host LovelyCheesePizza here. Welcome back to Let's Play some more Gran Turismo 3, the Ultimate Driving Simulator, where last time we were doing some rally races and we hit the 50% completion mark on the button, I believe. Yeah, look at that. So, we're halfway there, as the game would tell us, and our prize for doing such a thing is this beautiful composition of machinery and sorcery and other related things, and I can't wait to use it. But we're gonna do one thing with it real quick, just because what we are doing today is really the highest challenge available in all the land of the amateur circuit, and we have two available tune-ups we can do. I don't really want to do this one yet because, I mean, for God's sakes, it takes it to nearly 1,000 horsepower, and that just seems like it's a little bit much. It reminds me of the meme with the old black guy with the gray-haired beard, where it's just, it's too damn much, you know. So I think we'll take this one. It's still a nice upgrade, but it's not obscene and ridiculous, so we'll take that. That seems like a nice thing that's gonna help propel us to victory along the way. And then I must know, do we get, okay, so racing tires, we have these, but I kinda, for some of these longer races, I kinda want one of these, because these are ones that, wait, do I want, is it, or maybe it was these, I forget which, I think it's the Super Slicks, no, maybe it's these. I think these are the ones that take a really long time to warm up, but then you're good to go for a little while. Oh, this is kind of a rough thing here. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to buy a pair of these, and I'm going to employ those, if anywhere at all, I'm going to employ that on Grand Valley Speedway. That would be the one place that I would want to do that. Because I guarantee they're going to throw it at us. I guarantee it. As we jump into the Dream Car Championship, the one thing that's left here before we can move on to the Professional League. We got Deep Forest, Laguna Seca, SS5, Apricot Hill, Test Course 11, and Grand Valley Speedway. God damn it, I fucking called it. Both of these, by the way. I could use those tires in both of these and probably be okay with it. So, let's move along. Move along. What are you going to do? I also got a new flashlight today, and for people that are pissed off at the NRA, you're not going to like this, but it's literally a flashlight that's in the shape of a shotgun shell, but it's fucking cool. It's just cool. And I needed a flashlight anyways, so why not have it? But now I'm going to get the comments from these people, oh my god, you're supporting the NRA, oh my god. It's like, I didn't buy it. I don't even know if my dad, who gave it to me, even bought it. He just acquired it somehow. So that's what we're living. I see a Lancer up there, or maybe that's an Impreza, actually. They all have better acceleration off the line than I do, but I'll bet you I've got better top-end speed than they do. Oh boy, oh no, okay, not the way to get rolling. Not the way to get rolling. Bad time to start. Oh no. Luckily, there are 5 laps. We will be fine. I'm gonna have to get used to driving this car, though. The handling on this is bad. I believe I have those super slick ones equipped right now, which probably not a good idea. I definitely should have made sure that the mediums were equipped instead of this. But this game will allow me to kind of make a little bit of a charge later on, so I'm not super worried about this slow start out the gate. Plus, you know, our tires will warm up, we'll be in better shape. It's all good. So let me tell you real quick. I got a couple of stories for you tonight in this scheme of things. So what? Oh, there's an LM up there. Oh, really? Really? We get to duel it out with an S2000 LM, huh? Oh, this ought to be fun. Haha. My old friend out there trying to make a name for himself. He saw what came rolling into the garage at home, and he's like, you know what, fuck you. If you didn't get that new car, you would have used me. And maybe I would have. But maybe I wouldn't have. Ooh, is that a ZZ2? I think that's a ZZ2 over there. Interesting. And I think that green car up there may or may not be... Is that an FTO? We'll have to look and see if we can get closer to it, since I'm really coming up the rear here, which sounds absolutely disgusting depending on how you perceive that. Coming up the rear. Oh, that is an FTO. Huh, interesting. We got ourselves a nice little compilation of cars to go up against this time around. I like it. We have some worthy adversaries, I must fully admit to myself. So, anywho, I had probably one of the more infuriating scenarios in which I had to close up my store tonight. Very annoying. Really hated it. Totally my own fault, though. But, just sucked. So this is normally what happens. Basically, what happened in a nutshell was I left my keys at home. Which, you know, sounds like an innocent enough thing, but, you know, it's just so stupid. So normally I'm, you know, for many years I was used to, you know, waking up in the morning, taking a shower, putting my clothes on, driving the car to work, you know, good to go after that. But, you know, things have changed a little bit. Now my schedule is very different. I wake up in the morning, I go drive over to Michaela's house, I take the kids to school, and then I hang out with her for a little while until you know, she drives me to work, because we're kind of both sharing one car right now until, you know, we can fix that situation monetarily and such. And so she drives me to work, and then she picks me up from work later. I close the store, and then, you know, we go from there. But normally, because we have two sets of keys, you know, she has a set of keys for the car, and I've got my set of keys for the car and for the store and everything else. So when it came time to close, you know, normally I just would have my set of keys with me, and, you know, I'd take care of business and whatnot. Today, totally left the house in a hurry, totally forgot my keys at home, and, you know, it was the only humanly possible way. That was an Alteza LM, by the way, and they're both going in, so, haha, the game is over. I win! I win! You have all lost horribly. But, oh, come on. Calm yourself, Fauntleroy. Calm yourself. It's not the time to be losing your shit everywhere. Yeah, just like it got to the point where I was closing up the store and we're getting ready to leave, and she's like, alright, you got your keys? And I was like, shit. No, I don't. We start, like, tearing the store apart trying to find them. Can't find them anywhere, until it finally hit me. I was like, shit! I left them at home. This is all bad. And so I was like, well, here's what's going to happen. I'm going to have to leave you guys here in the store, because I can't leave this place unattended with the door totally unlocked, you know, leaving it wide open for anybody who wants to just come strutting in here and stocking up on boner pills, calcium, and antacids, you know, to just come strutting their stuff in here and taking hundreds, potentially thousands of dollars worth of stuff off my shelf, just because we decided to leave for 10 minutes to go get my keys. So I'm going to leave you guys here in the dark. I don't know why I would be in the dark, but maybe just to, you know, deter people from wanting to walk in, because if they saw the lights on, they'd probably think I was still open, and, you know, that turns into its own problem. So I was like, I'm going to leave, I'll go find my keys, and I'll be back. And just in the process of me driving home, I had to deal with every single, like, slowest driver on the fucking planet. You know, ain't that the way, though? That type of thing always seems to happen when, you know, you've done something or you've forgotten something and you need to get somewhere right away. It's like the entire world knows it. It's like there's a blimp that's flying above you that has, you know, like a Jumbotron screen, and it's just like, hey, you see that fucker in the black car? He did something stupid, and now we're gonna make sure it takes him the longest amount of time possible to get there and back. And so for me to drive like a combined 6 miles, probably, you know, not a very long distance time, it took me almost 20 minutes. You know, it just, like, I had to go behind a bus, and then there were, like, fire trucks going by, and policemen going by, and then everybody was driving like 15 miles under the speed limit, not even kidding, on the main road here in Salem, which the speed limit is, you know, 35, 40. All these people were going fucking, like, almost barely 20 miles an hour. It's like, what are you doing? It's like, I've got this horrible feeling that they're sitting there in the dark, and somebody just goes barging in, and they're, you know, gonna have to sit there and try to defend themselves, and they won't be able to because she's 5'2", and, you know, she could blow away in a fierce wind. Even though she's feisty as fuck, I'm telling you, it scares the hell out of me. And so, oh boy, it was a thing. It was legit terrifying for a few minutes there. Because she called me while I'm on the way back, and she's like, "Are you on your way back yet? Where are you at?" And I'm sitting here thinking, oh god, she's calling me right now. Did something happen? I'm gonna fucking die. I'm gonna get there. Everything's gonna have gone wrong. There's gonna be somebody in there that's, you know, that's not going to want to have, they're not going to want to leave, and it's going to turn into this whole ordeal, and I'm gonna, oh, it's all going to be bad. But it ended up being fine. It's just that, you know, I was exhausted today, had a long-ass day already, and just for that to be the way that my day ends was terrible. All bad. But what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Okay. Not nearly as bad of a day as this other guy had, though, that I read this story about earlier on, go figure, Huffington Post Weird News. Definitely up there in terms of the weirdest news hierarchy that I have talked about here. We've definitely chatted about some strange thing, guys and gals and aliens, but get a load of this. Get a load of this. I think he lived in, like, Wisconsin or Minnesota, I think it was where this was. Location doesn't matter. Situation does, though. So what happened was this guy ended up getting arrested for, it was either like failure to report a crime scene or something of that nature, or like tampering with evidence. And basically what happened was this guy, they find out this dude that's 60 years old was living in his house for an entire year, an entire calendar year just about, with I think it was like 2 or 3 corpses in his house of all deceased family members. And so what had happened was his mom died in the house. His twin brother and I believe his sister all died in the house. And instead of him, you know, calling, you know, the appropriate authorities and people to take the bodies away and, you know, give them proper burial so that they're not coming back and haunting you while you're sleeping and, you know, jacking off to tentacle porn and such, he just decided to leave them all in the house because he was, you know, mentally distraught, which I totally understand that. You know, being mentally distraught over all three of your family members that you're living with all dying seemingly, you know, one after the other, he just left him there. You know, when they finally got to his house, you know, a year later, I mean, his mom was basically just a fucking skeleton. You know, she may as well have been an extra in an Are You Afraid of the Dark episode. And his brother was like mummified in the basement. God knows what was going on with his sister, but I can't imagine it was a lot different than anything else. It's just all bad. And I'm sure they probably walked in there and they're like, "What the fuck did you do? Like, why did you not call this in?" Like, I understand that the guy is distraught, but imagine what every day of his human existence had to have looked like for about a year. Like, you come home from work, hey mom, hey bro, hey sis, what's going on? Did you catch that crazy ass Phillies game? Oh, that's right. You're all fucking dead. You're all collecting dust and feeding the worms and maggots and other crazy unmentionables that are, you know, in this house, that are crawling up to you and devouring your flesh and, you know, turning you into homemade fertilizer, you know? That's just, it's so sickening and gross and awful. Like, I could almost imagine, I'm sure he probably didn't do it, because if for a guy that's distraught, there's no way he would try to keep up a charade of them all being alive. Because he eventually moved them all out of the way because they were in the way. But I could totally imagine this dude, like, sitting them up at the dinner table, you know, even if they're decomposing and they're like skeletons and they're, you know, mummies and such. I could totally still see this guy, you know, in his kitchen, you know, cooking 4 plates worth of food, bring them all to the table, having their silverware and a glass of water, or whatever their favorite beverages were, and, like, trying to have conversations with them, you know, trying to keep up this facade that they're alive, just because, you know, if he'd be, you know, had he actually, like, accepted the fact that they were all dead and they were never coming back, that he would just absolutely come unglued and lose his ever-loving sanity as a human being. It's just, it's a very, very intriguing thing, you know? You don't really, like, sometimes you hear about people that, you know, people die in the house and, you know, maybe like a month goes by before somebody finds out about it, but never like a full year. Like, that's crazy. And, like, nobody, and the other crazy thing, too, is that, you know, what about other people that knew those three? Like, it took them that long to finally be like, hey, I haven't seen them in like a year. Maybe we should send somebody over. You know, I've called about 130 times over the span of these long 365 days. I haven't heard a damn thing yet. Maybe I should call and see, you know, if anything's going on. Maybe I should go over there and see if they're, you know, if everything's okay. Only to find out that they're horrendously dead and not alive. And not even human bodies anymore. They're just skeletons. Or maybe just maybe a tinge of just rotting, decomposing flesh. Oh boy. Boy, we have had to fight really hard to get back into this one, but he's going in! Oh, Merry Christmas to me. Oh, they're both going in. Oh, this is great. I was just gonna say, man, we're gonna have one hell of a last lap, like, taking the lead and then having to fend them off, but they're going in. Oh, they're gift wrapping it for me. They're like, hey, man, you know, it sounds like you've had yourself a long day, so we're gonna give you a couple of these. But just you wait. We'll come back the next time you film, and we're gonna give you a race, man. We're gonna give you a good one. But hey, we're gonna comfortably win this thing as long as I don't spin out unnecessarily on something crazy. And now that decision for me using those extra slick tires is actually not looking too bad right now. We're going into our 5th lap, and our tires are looking fantastic right now. This is why I wanted to buy those, because, you know, when you come down to those last couple of laps, and, you know, their tires are worn out, but yours, you're bringing up the rear, and everything's looking good. That is what this was really all about. It's all about stamina and longevity and endurancy. Those are the 3 main components of our victory march this evening. Not to mention we're just using a fucking Corvette C5R because it's absolutely fantastic. This thing is just a total beast in the puss, you know. And we hit a cone. So there were cones. All right, look at that. Kind of wish we would have gotten that thing done in exactly 1 second earlier, because we would have won by a split of 1.23, or no, our best lap would have been 1 minute and 23 seconds, 0.123. That's what I was trying to say. God, I couldn't figure out my own shit to save my life. All right, so the ZZ2 got second. The S2000 and the LM both got second to last and last. I feel bad for them because they're racing so well, but when you look at the split at the end of this tournament, probably they're going to end up being the bottom 2 cars in all this, because they're pitting every time, and none of the other people are, because they're smart. So, what are you gonna do? So yeah, that's the thing. I had a long day at work today. I left my keys at home and didn't close the store. Had to leave the place wide fucking open for about 20 minutes while I drove there. And then I read a story about a guy who lived in his home for a year with 3 dead people in it. The world we live in, ladies and gentlemen. It is a strange place. Like, imagine the smell. It's the smell, if there is such a thing. That would just be disgusting, dude. The smell of, not only the smell of rotting flesh from one person, but 3 of them. Oh my god, that'd be terrible. They don't make Febreze and Glade plugins strong enough for that. They really don't. So this is what we're going to do, guys. We are going to stop right here. When we come back on the next installment of Let's Play Gran Turismo 3, the Ultimate Driving Simulator, we've got some more races to do, and seemingly, we're going to get through this thing just fine. So until then, my friends, this is your host saying thanks, and I'll see you later. Have a good one. Don't forget your keys at home. It's bad shit.